We're going to talk about DC K.O. number 5. Now, the whole time I thought that DC K.O. was just 4 issues. I think they told us it was going to be 4 issues. They just bring this on. I was like, no, it's a 5th issue. Just popped out of nowhere. So this is supposed to be the finale of the book.
I'm gonna kick back while you do this.
Okay. Oh, now, did you read it?
I did.
You did. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you get the references and all this stuff like that? Or?
I'm suppose I should. Yeah, it was just another big fight. Is basically all it was.
Okay. I'm gonna make some comparisons to this and other Scott Snyder works because I'm starting to see some parallels between.
Some definitely. Repeats. Yeah, I did. Yes, this is very Snyder.
Okay.
Not Zack Snyder. Scott
Not
Snyder.
Zack Snyder. Scott Snyder. Yeah. It's a difference.
The other Snyder.
The other Snyder.
He goes just as extravagant.
He's just in his own way.
But he's just as excessive as the other Snyder.
The last book left off with Lex Luthor becoming King Omega. He killed Superman and became King Omega. So he was like, I am Lex Luthor. I am blah, 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 and all this shit like that. So he just takes... Yeah, Lex Luthor is. He takes his crown as King Omega, and he's just looking at Darkseid like, you can't stop me. And Darkseid's telling him, okay, so since you won, take Heart of Darkness into yourself, and let's get this going. Meanwhile, it zooms in to Superman's statue, because like he killed him last round, and actually fast forwards to the first round, well, the first book, where everything first jumped off there, where it started, where they saw Darkseid outside just destroying everything, So it's just like had him before. They were like, okay, time to suit up, just get to it, or it's game over, So Superman turns into Superman, Batman runs downstairs, Wonder Woman jumps out the window, but Superman doesn't do anything. He just sits there. He's like, I know what you're doing, and I know where you are. He was like, okay, so what are we doing? So what he does is Doomsday. Yeah. So I'm not gonna explain it. Doomsday's on Ozempic. The point is, Doomsday did all this bullshit on purpose. That this is not a flashback. This is not a time loop. This is an alternate reality that Doomsday did on purpose because he got like time travel powers now and shit like that. So this is like a time loop that he did because he wanted to keep Superman safe from all the bullshit. He didn't trust anybody else that was doing this stuff because he knew somebody on the Justice League was going to betray him. He knew Darkseid was going to influence one of them. He didn't know it was going to be Booster Gold. I don't think anybody assumed it was going to be Booster Gold, but he knew somebody was going to stab him in the back. So he always wanted Superman to win, and he rigged the game for Superman to win. So that's the whole point of him doing it. So yeah, because he realized that he got a message saying that he was never here to kill Superman. He was here to kill Darkseid. So this whole thing about him and Superman going back and forth, killing each other and coming back to life and killing each other, let's end this. So he decided to tell Superman that, Superman, this whole time, I have enough Omega energy in me to make you the Omega King. Not only that, I've also seen enough universes born that I have alpha energy inside of me also, so you have balance, alpha and omega. I can make you both. Now, the thing is, if I give you this power, I'm going to die. I'm going to disappear, and I will, fade away from existence, shit like that. But I need you to win. You're like, I promise. You're like, let's begin. And that's when, bam, Doomsday puts all of his omega and alpha energy that he has into Superman. Bam. And he says, goodbye, Kal-El. I'll miss you to kill you again. So shit like that. So that's when Lex Luthor talking all that bullshit. I accept your surrender, Darkseid. He was like, yeah, I don't think that shit gonna happen, And while Lex Luthor talk about that shit, now all that's left to say is, and he's, what the fuck? And he starts to disappear in the shit because a new challenger has appeared. And Superman says, all that's left to say is, ding, ding. Like Apollo Creed in Rocky. So Superman is the King Omega because he was always going to be the King Omega because the game was rigged for him to be King Omega. And Darkseid's like, well, about time you showed up. I was waiting for you. Now, take your crown. And what he does, he reboots the universe. The hand, the hand and shit like that. He reboots the universe. So yeah. And he takes the Heart of Apocalypse and puts it into himself. And now everything is Superman. King Omega Superman. So yeah. And now let the war of kings begin. So you got Darkseid versus Superman finna go to war. And bam, they punch each other like that. And Superman just giving it everything he got. Bam, bam, bam. Giving him gut punches. Punch him in the jaw and shit like that. And all he did is hurt his hand. Because all the Omega energy and Alpha energy he built up is not enough to stop a guy that's made of nothing but Omega energy. So he was like, my turn. Bam. Lets him have it. Drops him, like, take a knee, Superman, And then that's when Superman realized he was about to get his ass kicked. So the Heart of Apocalypse sends him back in time because Darkseid has corrupted everything that from that point in the future going forward. So we put him in the past before Darkseid can get there. And he's imagines his world. His world that he created is perfect. There's no racism. There's no sexism. There's no classism. Everybody has superpowers in Superman's world. It's the perfect world. And Superman is fighting for this world to be there. So he was like, I'm going to fight this guy with everything I got. And that's when Darkseid goes into past to track down him, and they start fighting each other, and they're fighting through the past. He goes through the New 52, through Crisis on Infinite Earths, to Crisis on Two Earths, to Final Crisis, which we just reviewed on that shit like that. So he's knocking them all the way through all this bullshit, all the way to the Big Bang, to there's nothing left. And the Heart of Apocalypse basically telling him, Superman, you got nowhere to go. You're stuck at the Big Bang. You're like, yeah, that's what I wanted. I wanted to be at the Big Bang. So because he knows if he absorbs the Big Bang, he'll have enough alpha energy to overpower Darkseid. So he takes the Big Bang into himself, and becomes King Alpha and Omega Superman. All this shit like that. So yeah. So that's when Darkseid shows up like, there you go. Come get this ass whooping. And that's when, bam, Superman hits him with like a galaxy punch or some shit, And Darkseid is bleeding. He's like, what the fuck do you do? He was like, in Kansas, we call this playing possum, because he was basically trying to get him to come to the Big Bang the whole time. And then he, bam, gives to him like that.
Counter!
So basically, counter. So they have been fighting for 1,000,000 years, maybe billions. We don't know.
As long as the universe has been existed.
Yeah, as long as the universe has been existed, they fight until the Big Bang to present time. That's how long they've been fighting. And eventually Superman's starting to get the upper hand on the shit like that. So yeah. And Superman is about to take Darkseid out. But he was like, if I beat him, will it be just me beating him? He's like, yeah. Then I want to beat him. Like, what the fuck you doing? Like, you got to hit him now. You got to beat him. Otherwise, he's going to come back for you. He's like, nah. And he looks at his world, like his perfect world, where everybody has superpowers. Everybody has universal health care and all this shit like that. And he was like, nah. And he reaches in his chest and pulls out the Heart of Apocalypse and destroys it. He's like, if you do that, you will lose. He's like, nah, I'm not quitting. I'm tagging him in. So everybody that was in the tournament, Superman brings them back to life. And they all attack Superman at one time. So Superman didn't beat Darkseid by himself. Everybody that was in the tournament beats Darkseid because he didn't want to beat him by himself. And said he knocks Darkseid back into the future. He doesn't kill Darkseid. He just beat him to the future. So eventually, Darkseid will come back. When? Next week, next month, next year? Who knows? He will be back. That's the point. So I'll get you next time, hour, yeah. Superman. Yeah. So the winner of the tournament was everybody. That's what Superman always wanted anyway. Because he don't like to play games where everybody loses. So he decides to reform the world in his image, and he sends everybody to the regular world. So yeah. And Lex Luthor like, you didn't even beat him, you dumbass. You're like, Batman, like, Lex Luthor, shut the fuck up. And Superman's just telling him, like, look, I'm a god now. I'm King Omega Universe, like that. Like, the universe is Superman. He is the universe. But they don't really say it, but I think they got to say that Superman has to stay in this form, basically to keep Darkseid at bay. So basically, him and Darkseid are kind of injured. He's Alpha, Darkseid is Omega. They're counter forces. So as long as he's this god figure, Darkseid can't invade. That's what he's saying. So, yeah. So they walk back into the regular universe that Superman made. And Superman looks at his universe one time, his perfect universe that he made, and he destroys it. But before he destroys it, he actually explodes it into the regular universe. So Superman rebooted the universe with his alpha energy in ways we don't know yet. We don't know how it's going to affect it. But we will know when it goes to the next level, which is what DC is promoting right now. So yeah, so Superman's universe. So yeah, and that's the thing. So it's not a perfect universe. Not perfect. You got Demon, you got Lobo, you got Zatanna. It's chaotic. It's weird. But the thing is, Superman wanted everybody to chip in because Superman is saying that we can't look for saviors. It can't be just me. It has to be all of us to save the planet.
Very Paul Atreides.
Yes. He said, but not just us. You have to pitch in too. And because Superman is so powerful, he can look out. He knows he's in the comic. He's looking at the reader when he says this. I'm like, okay. So yeah. So just they're checking on Lois, seeing how Lois is doing and stuff like that. She's cool. They're rolling the dice, they're playing the game and stuff like that. So yeah, but they know Darkseid is going to come back, and they're basically looking at what Superman changed. So that all the Alpha Omega, everybody in the tournament got hit with Alpha and Omega energy. So they've been changed somehow, but we don't know how. Mr. Terrific will keep note of it to see what happens. Oh, and Superboy Prime is the new Superman, while Superman is a god. But so he's filling in for him. So yeah, and Cyborg has Apocalypse energy. Heart Cyborg, whatever fuck you have to look at. Oh, and that whole Batman knife fight shit, those were real. They're just in the multiverse. So Damian does have a son, and Batman does have a grandson named Alfred. So yeah. Meanwhile, Barry Allen is finishing his book of the multiverse, and he finds out this that wasn't Superman's hand, it's somebody else's hand. Whose hand? We don't know. But yeah. And meanwhile, Darkseid's just like, it was a temporary victory. It doesn't really matter. Plus, my absolute universe, unfazed, untouched, until I needed to enter the battle. So basically, the whole absolute universe, unaffected. They don't know any of this shit that ever happened. It's just going by, it's just chugging along as it normally did. So yeah. But that wasn't Darkseid's game plan. The point was, just like the KO tournament in the regular DC universe, every single multiverse had the same exact KO tournament on their planet. And all they did was build Omega energy for Darkseid to feed on. So when he gets powerful enough, he's going to invade Earth again for the absolute crisis. Yes.
Because those books are selling. That's why they can't.
The end for now. So yes, that's what's going on right now. So yeah, so that's the ending. Superman's a god. Superman is out of the book. Superman is not in the DC. Superman is. That's what it is right now. So yeah. So Superboy Prime is going to be the protagonist of the Superman books and Action Comics going forward.
John?
Because Superman's a god now. So yeah. Reason I want to talk about this, Eli, because it's the exact same ending of Death Metal. Remember that?
Yeah, Dark Metal, Death Metal.
Wonder Woman became a god. She like threw planets at Batman Who Laughs. Mm-hmm. And the Screaming God just flew away and shit. Yeah. The exact same ending.
Yeah, didn't Batman for Who Laughs show up in one of these books?
Not in this one, but in the Dark Knight's Metal book, yeah. Mm-hmm. Because he became a god and Wonder Woman became a god, and they were like opposing forces of each other also, and they had to fight each other. Shit. So, exact same story. So, yeah. Whatever. Punchy punch. That's all we want.
That's all it was. It was just a big, giant fist fight.
And that's all it needed to be. Yeah, after a while, I think it kind of overstayed. It should have probably wrapped this bitch up in 4 issues, be done. The 5th issue, I think it kind of overstayed its welcome. Yeah, Superman's God, Alpha, Omega energy, whatever, it's like that. So, cool. I still like the book. Alpha, Omega Superman. Is he the most powerful Superman? If you want to do some death battles and power scaling and stuff like that, I still say Cosmic Armor Superman is still more powerful. That's just me. But
well, there you go.
I'll let y'all have it there.
Start a TikTok channel, man. Get them views, man.
That's what I'm saying. We get views when we say shit like that.
Yeah, man. That's all anybody cares about.
That's all anybody cares about. They care about this other shit. They don't want us pontificating on what the anti-life equation means. That's how it relate to depression. Don't fuck about that. Who can beat who?
So, that's all that matters, man. That's all anybody gives a shit about. So.
Right. You're like, oh, Black Panther's a metaphor for the African diaspora. Who cares? Can he be Batman? That's what we want to know.
He's African Batman.
Right, basically. So yeah, just break that shit down. So yeah.
Slap a score?
4 out of 5. 4 out of 5. Well, but what do you give it, Eli? I don't know what you give it.
I'll give it a 4 out of 5 too. I mean, it did just enough to keep.
What?
This,
I thought
this.
Okay.
Yeah, these got exhausting for me. I feel like Scott Snyder tends to overwrite stuff,
Yeah.
And it just gets by book 3, I was getting exhausted because this is all,
and it's just gobbledygook that don't really mean anything.
Yeah, it's just like it is just fights. That's all the series was. It was just a series of fights, a series of battles with a lot of text thrown in, like overly written text. Okay, I get it. Yeah. You're trying to make this more important than it actually is. But in the end,
you're like, punch something.
Yeah, in the end, it was just a glorified fist fight, and we're now, and this is again that grand scope that Scott Snyder loves to do of Superman is now a universe, and Darkseid is now a universe, and now universes are fighting.
Right.
Like or the Forge. The Forge.
Right. Whatever that shit was. I remember he had that shit.
All this weird, the Forge that makes universes. And
the 10 medals that Batman has to collect.
Yeah, like who gives a shit? It's just it's just an excuse to throw punches and shit, So this was a big week for books. There was a lot of books I read this week, and when I saw this, I was like, oh Jesus. K.O. came out this week too. I gotta read this now.
Oh man.
That was my reaction. And I read it. Oh yeah, I get it. Yeah, Superman comes out kicking ass, and sure, I bought it. Yeah, it was quite epic, and just a little bit too overwritten. That's all. We don't need text in every panel. So yeah, I'll give it a 4 out of 5. Just it was enjoyable for the most.
Interesting. We were on the same page. I was not expecting that. So yeah.
But I don't think I liked it as much as you, or as excited as much as you.
Well, I mean, because I was hyped for it because it was a Shonen Jump tournament. But by the end, I was like, okay, let's wrap it up, B. We've done enough. Okay.
Yeah. And speaking of Shonen Jump, I've been reading mangas, and those books are so brisk. Like they
just move past, right? No pontificating.
They let the art speak for themselves, man. Like the writers are not trying to write poetry and prose.
Right. Well, mainly because the writer and the artist is normally the same guy.
Usually the same person, and they're
So
a lot of the times why I like Daniel Warren Johnson when he writes his stuff, because he's just like, he lets his visuals just speak for themselves.
Yeah. Like I said, they let the action plot the story.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you got writers trying to write words and be wordsmiths.
Right. Then you got conflict with the writer in the story. Like, you ain't got to do all that.
Yeah,
man.
You just let him
do his thing.
Let the art speak for itself, man. No one wants to read your shit.
Yeah. Comics is a visual medium. Let it be a visual medium.
So yeah, that's where I'm at.